I'm gonna do this fight legit. Yes! Let's go! I'm a god gamer.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
I have been an avid consumer of anime for many years, and I've come to love many different aspects of anime. Whether it's the animation, soundtrack, or the plot, there's always something to enjoy. But above all else, it's the characters that stand at the top of that list. You can have the most gorgeous animation, but if the cast of characters are bland or one note, the audience won't be able to get fully invested in the story. Characters are the heart and soul of fiction, and that doesn't only apply to the protagonist. Sometimes it's the side characters that end up feeling more relatable to the audience. Characters like Kazuma Kuwabara, Okuyasu Nijimura, Potato Girl, and Aoki and Kimura add heart and soul to their respective series. But there's one specific character I would like to talk about today. His story is filled with many highs, lows, successes, and failures, but most of all, it has heart. The character is none other than the Desert Bandit Yamcha from Dragon Ball.
Nice choice. Guess I'm gonna have to show you I'm not playing around.
I am Yamcha. I am master of the land you trespass upon. Okay, boys, enough talk. Either hand over your goods or prepare to fight me. You're not the only one with special powers, kid. Watch this.
Introduced as early as Chapter 7 in Dragon Ball, Yamcha made sure his presence was known. Shown to be strong and confident, he hunted down Goku, Bulma, and Oolong on their quest for the balls. His skills in combat are extraordinary. He is able to stand his ground with Goku, and his famous Wolfang Fist Brush is powerful enough to launch him through solid stone.
Wolfang
But before the fight can continue, Yamcha sees Bulma and runs away due to his fear of women. Many young men can relate to this fear. It's a fear all men have to eventually overcome. But before Yamcha is able to overcome it, he stalks Goku and Bulma from a distance. As we see the antics Dragon Ball is known for, we get to understand more about the Desert Bandit. What drives him? What are his goals in life? Does he have any hopes and dreams? Well, he does actually. We learn that the wish he'd make with the Dragon Balls is to not be afraid to talk to girls. But this is just a means to an end in regards to his real dream, to marry a woman.
I will never be shy around women again! Never! I want what no riches in the world can buy. Don't you see that one day I'd like to get married? Or at least be able to ask a girl out on one single lousy date!
This dream of his is emphasized by the kanji on his outfit at the time, which translates to Raku. Raku stands for comfort or easy, so it's safe to assume that Yamcha would like to find comfort in the relationships he makes.
私の名は吉良義景、年齢33歳。自宅は森王町北東部の別荘地帯にあり、結婚はしていない。
But before he is able to find comfort in a relationship, he continues his hunt. While he tracks down Goku, we see his more cunning side. When Goku does best him in combat, he decides to stay back and wait for his opportunity to steal the balls. He even manages to learn of Goku's weakness, grabbing his tail. Yamcha is shown early on to have great patience, but even he knows when it's best to hop in for a fight. If it wasn't for Yamcha getting the drop on Monster Carrot, the series would have ended pretty anticlimactically.
Poir, come on! That kid needs our help. It's up to us to get him out of this mess.
Hey! You're helping us! That's real nice of you!
Never mind that! Get Monster Carrot!
Eventually, Yamcha and everyone else gets captured by Emperor Pilaf and are unable to escape their prison. That is until Goku sees the full moon and transforms into his Grade 8 form. Although they managed to escape the glass prison, Goku's rampage would be another matter. It's during the heat of the moment that Yamcha was able to overcome his fear of Bulma and take charge of the situation. Yamcha could have easily run away on his own, but he chose to stay and fight. It's thanks to him and Poir's efforts that Bulma wasn't killed. Yamcha's courage in this moment is amazing. To even attempt to stop a giant monkey is incredible. So once everything has settled down, Yamcha and Bulma decide that they like each other enough to move to the city together.
Yamcha, your wish! Ask the dragon to fix your shyness around girls!
Thanks, Poir, but I don't think I need it.
Pain and suffering are all you have to look forward to now.
Whatever. Anyone ever tell you your mummy dresses you funny?
I once made a man's head touch his feet doing this.
So as the series goes on, we see more of Yamcha's defining traits. He's cocky, he's strong, and worst of all, he loses a lot. He's always 1 or 2 steps behind his opponents, which makes him seem weak by comparison. However, getting top 8 in the World Tournament multiple times in a row is no small feat. Along with that, Yamcha is far from stupid. He tries his best to outwit his opponents when his back is against the wall. When he has to fight an invisible man, he relies on the air currents the man is making to find him, but this is thwarted by Baba's singing.
That's it. Talk to me with your movements. I'm all ears.
Ow! You think you're pretty smart, huh? Let's see how good your hearing really is.
Even before Tien figured it out, Yamcha too saw through Roshi's disguise when he fought as Jackie Chun. Another one of his most important traits that gets overlooked is his want and ability to improve. He's always training, and his efforts to get stronger shouldn't be forgotten. He has a fire in his soul that's always raging, and Master Roshi must have seen this in Yamcha. Even though he had 2 incredible students in Goku and Krillin, Roshi believed that Yamcha had more power to unlock, and he was right.
Master Roshi doesn't take on students easily. And there he is, asking the little monkey boy. That reminds me, guess what? I'm training too, with you guys, under Master Roshi. He agreed to take me as a student.
Eventually, Yamcha has the chance to prove his strength to his friends, rivals, and enemies. His fight with Tien is one of the best in Dragon Ball. The choreography, the style, and even before the fight starts, they had some great trash talk.
Whenever I fight, my objective is to defeat my opponent, not murder him. However, if you and I should have a match in this tournament, I'll be sure to reconsider my policy.
You pass this waste off as food? The stench alone is enough to make me lose my stomach. After a hard day's fight, I expect a decent meal.
So go cook one.
What? I've seen you fight. You're pretty good for an amateur. You think you're ready for me?
Yes. I'll start off real slow, Tien. You just try and keep up with me.
Do what makes you feel good, Yamcha. It's your funeral.
Although he did lose, Yamcha gave it his all. Not just any human can learn the Kamehameha, and Roshi himself said that it should take at least 50 years to master it. But all it took was less than 5 for Yamcha. Compare his first Kamehameha to Goku's and you'll see how far he's come. So why should he have been anything besides confident? He trains hard, and nothing good comes from constantly doubting yourself. Sadly, Yamcha doesn't really do much in the time between the 22nd and 23rd World Tournament, but when the 23rd World Tournament does begin, it is fantastic. With the threat of Piccolo Jr. looming over the world, the stakes and the character strengths have never been higher.
You know, for the past 3 years, I've thought of nothing but this tournament. I'll finally show them all what I'm made of.
And he's got a lot up his sleeves. He creates his own technique, the Spirit Ball.
I'm not sure there are words to describe the damage one can do with raw spirit energy. Ready for this? Spirit Ball! Attack!
In the time before planet-destroying Gallic Guns and Death Balls, this technique was very unique and helped set Yamcha apart from everyone else. Sure, some characters could fire homing ki blasts, but none had the level of control that Yamcha had. But sadly, it wasn't enough to defeat God. Failure will always happen. We will all lose in one way or another in life. Men have their character truly tested when they do fail. And how does Yamcha act when he's beat?
That last move, I couldn't even see it.
It's energy from within. Maybe someday I'll teach you how to do it.
You fought well, really.
Thank you. Sorry about your leg. I did a lot of terrible things.
No big deal. Bones heal just like everything else. But at the next tournament, I expect a rematch. Got it?
Of course.
You're a skilled young man. I think you could show me a thing or two.
Are you kidding? You won it!
His willingness to admit when he's failed is what makes him want to be stronger. His Spirit Ball technique is the perfect representation of this. Yamcha lost his fight against Tien when he reflected the Kamehameha back at him, forcing Yamcha into the air. So Yamcha thought long and hard about his defeat and came to this conclusion: make an attack that's as powerful as the Kamehameha, but can also be directly controlled. If Tien tried to bounce back this attack, he would have just gotten smacked in the face. He looked at his failure and came up with a unique solution to avoid losing in the future. Thankfully, Dragon Ball wasn't the end of it. We got a sequel series in Dragon Ball Z.
You're an alien! I'm an alien.
Am I an alien?
Probably. Where's my brother?
I don't know.
Then you're useless to me. Dragon Soul!
The Saiyans Nappa and Vegeta are arriving in 1 year, and the burden to fight them is placed on our hero's shoulders, one of whom is Yamcha. This is actually the first time in the series when Yamcha gets to fight the main antagonist. He never actually fought Emperor Pilaf. He was late to the Red Ribbon Army fight. He wasn't able to fight Demon King Piccolo, and Goku wanted to solo fight Piccolo Jr.
Interesting. That's the exact same number of Cybermen we have. What do you say? Each of you can take turns fighting one of our Cybermen. Let's see what happens. You know, a game.
I'm up for it. These little creeps don't scare me. I could use a good warm-up.
Tien wins his fight clean and easy. The heroes have started off the fight strong. So in order to keep up the momentum, Krillin steps up to fight, but Yamcha tells him to stay back.
But Yamcha, I'm just as capable of...
You've already been wished back with the Dragon Balls before. I haven't. So, if anything bad does happen, at least we know that I can be revived, right? Let me take care of this one. I'm gonna wipe out all 5 of them at once.
For the first time in the series, Yamcha wins outright. Years of training, years of hardship have led to this moment. To go from a power level of 177 to well over 1200 is astounding. He has earned this win. He is fighting to protect the planet, his home, and his friends. At this point in time, he's still dating Bulma, so he's also fighting for the girl he's thought about marrying. But this moment of triumph is overshadowed by his most famous moment in the whole series. The chapter in the manga this fight happens in is called One Down for a reason, because it starts off with Vegeta killing one of the Cybermen, but also because you...
Get off!
Throughout the series, most of Yamcha's fights have been fairly comedic or lighthearted. His fight with Goku happened when Dragon Ball was still a gag manga. His fight with Roshi ended with a simple breeze. His fight with Kami is one of the most comedic fights in the whole series. His fight with Tien had some comedic elements because the English dub of the episode is called Yamcha's Big Break. Even his fight with the Cybermen had the fairly comedic scene of it tossing Yamcha into the air. The Saiyan Saga perfectly subverts our expectation that the fight would just be another funny one. But the reaction of his friends shows us that this fight is anything but funny.
Yamcha, no!
You must have had a feeling something like this would happen, huh? That's why you insisted on going before me. Damn it! Why'd you have to go and get yourself killed, you stupid jerk? What am I supposed to tell poor Bulma, huh?
Tien's reaction is one of the most subtle ones, but also one of the most important. Although they started off as enemies, they eventually became good friends. They fought together and trained together, and in a small filler arc, they, along with Krillin and Chaozu, saved the village from being destroyed. He knows how strong Yamcha is, so he never expected to see him die. But the horror has only just begun. Nappa begins his slaughter by chopping off Tien's arm. Then he takes Chaozu's self-destruct sacrifice and Tien's final Kikoho, and eventually kills Piccolo too. Yamcha's death shifts the tone of the arc dramatically from everyone laughing and having a good time to utter horror. It's only after he dies that the true stakes of the fight can be seen. A big theme in the Saiyan Saga is sacrifice. Goku with Raditz, Tien and Chaozu for one another, Piccolo for Gohan, and Yamcha for Krillin. The start of the Android Saga is one of the most memorable starts to an arc in the series. Frieza is alive and is coming to Earth with his father. Then an unknown Super Saiyan kills them both in an instant. Then one of the biggest bombshells is dropped. The unknown warrior is named Trunks, and he's the son of Bulma and Vegeta from the future.
I'm from the future.
For realsies?
For realsies.
Out of all your future news, that takes the cake. I always figured Bulma and Yamcha would settle down one of these days, but her and Vegeta? I can't even wrap my head around that one.
Well, she got tired of Yamcha playing the field, I think she called it. So she finally kicked him out on his ear.
Gross, cover your mouth.
What's it to you, Bulma? I thought Yamcha was your boyfriend.
He is, but I can still keep my eyes open for an upgrade.
Who knows? Maybe here I'll finally meet a real man.
What about Yamcha?
A real man.
So let's back up and talk more about Yamcha and Bulma. I talked about the relationship in my Bulma video, but let's look at it from Yamcha's perspective. Although it started off sweet, it quickly turned sour.
Look, you've put up with her long enough.
Oh, I suppose you're right. She does get mad a lot. She's thoughtless, and she's hard to handle.
Sadly, we don't get to see much of their relationship in the manga, but the anime added a few extra episodes to flesh it out.
Well, yes, Yamcha and Oolong should be around here somewhere, but Yamcha and Bulma are having a little—
Mother, be quiet!
A teeny little lovers tiff. Yeah, they're back. That gaggle of screaming girls is Yamcha's fan club.
Bulma is extremely jealous at the idea that other women want Yamcha, but why? What reason does Bulma have to be threatened by their advances on her man? Well, maybe it's because if Yamcha realized how poorly he's being treated by her, he believed he would be better off without her. She's quick to anger and jealousy when she thinks Yamcha is cheating on her with an enemy. She doesn't even try asking him what happened. Dragon Ball Super did the same story arc with Gohan and Videl, and thankfully we can see how a healthy relationship functions when both people trust each other.
Hold on, you're gonna ignore proof that your husband's a cheat?
It's not proof because he's not a cheat. I'm sure there's a very good reason for that kiss.
Unlike Videl, Bulma instantly jumps to the conclusion that he is cheating without even asking for his side of the story, and this small arc hits its climax when she slaps him in the face.
I'm glad you're okay. I was worried about you.
Don't let it break your heart. As much abuse as that girl gives you, you're better off without her.
Thankfully, by the time of Dragon Ball Z, Yamcha learned that he doesn't have to put up with her behavior.
Bulma's still mad about the time you stood her up. You should explain that you were just out of money.
Huh, Yamcha was broke 99% of the time anyway.
This is amazing. I've never been on a cruise before. Knowing the richest woman on Earth certainly has its perks.
Besides, he took Becky Hafford to see the concert 3 nights later.
I had tickets. You wouldn't go.
Holy you f***ing killed her, dude!
Man, being a jerk just comes so natural to you.
I'd say I owe all my training in that department to you, Bulma.
So there are a few reasons why their relationship failed. Reason number 1, it was an on and off again relationship. The moment someone decides to leave, that is it. If a girl leaves or says she wants a break, she is looking for men she believes are better than you. Reason number 2, they were looking for different outcomes to the relationship. Yamcha was looking for marriage. Bulma was just looking for the perfect boyfriend, which is a total bogus idea.
I'm going to do my best to ignore that you just used the word bogus.
What is the idea of the perfect boyfriend from the female perspective? Well, he's tall, dark, handsome, makes a whole lot of money, and will do whatever she wants, whenever she wants. She already had this standard in mind, so when Yamcha was unable to meet this insane standard, she checked out. But rather than just cut him off entirely, she kept him around until a better man showed up. Yamcha should be thankful that Bulma revealed her true colors when she dumped him for the bad boy that caused his death. Speaking of bad boys, reason number 3. The relationship failed because Yamcha became more tame. His first interaction with Goku's group was trying to rob them.
I always like to miss on the first swing. Then the second's a home run.
My gosh, did you see that guy's biceps? Who was he anyway?
Just the guy who tried to barbecue us.
How scary.
So after he moved to the city with Bulma, she stopped being attracted to him as he became less threatening. Even though women will say they'll stick by you through thick and thin, the moment they view you as a loser, they're gone. Women hate seeing the men that are supposed to be protecting them lose.
We went out of country, we fought on the same card. He fought the day before me, I fought the next day. During the fight, he almost gets knocked out. As this guy is mauling him, he goes like this. What do you think I was thinking?
Not good thoughts.
The boyfriend. My boyfriend. Like this.
Yeah, you didn't like it.
No.
Did it turn you off?
Oh my god, so much.
He was willing to change for her. Yamcha listened to what Bulma wanted from him by cutting his hair.
I guess I didn't recognize you because your hair fell off your head.
Bulma said long hair is out this year.
It may seem small, but this action demonstrated his willingness to change for her. But this is almost always the wrong thing to do. Women will complain that he stopped being the guy she fell in love with, even though the men they fall in love with are dangerous. Maybe this is why she moved on to Vegeta, because for a while there was always the possibility that he would become a villain again. The little we get to see or hear about his life in the city says so much, but Bulma still finds a way to complain.
Why not?
Because it's always been Yamcha's
2
week to
weeks,
fight in the tournament.
3
It
weeks,
doesn't mean he stopped
4
playing.
weeks, 4 whole weeks, and he doesn't even call. He didn't send me a letter or flowers or even a stinking postcard.
When Yamcha is around, she'll play the role of the kind and supportive girlfriend, but when he is absent, he is the worst man on the planet. Scratch that. Even when he is around, she still disrespects and assaults him in front of his friends.
Even if Goku's running late, we still have Vegeta, right?
Be quiet! Where do you get off talking to her like that? I mean, yeah, she can be nosy and bossy, but she's also really smart.
What? I'm bossy, huh? You're supposed to be defending me.
You're bossy in the good way.
Gee, thanks. And you're an idiot in a good way.
Bulma is one of the most toxic girlfriends I've ever seen. But sadly, that's still the woman Yamcha loved. As far as we know, he never actually cheated on her. Even when he was still being abused, he was still shocked at the idea that Bulma didn't love him anymore.
I mean, I sure got the feeling Bulma didn't want to see him.
Did she say that? Oh.
Are you okay?
So it's just like I thought. She really doesn't like me anymore.
He still wanted to be with her, and she left him for another man. He listened to her and changed into a better person for her, just for her to tell him through her actions that everything he did was not enough.
And they kill everyone. As in Vegeta, Krillin, Piccolo, Tenshinhan, Chaozu. The only ones that survive are myself, my mother, and Gohan.
Oh, wow. Wait, you didn't mention Yamcha.
Oh, I mean, he dies, but... See, after he found out that my mother was pregnant with Vegeta's child, he sort of...
Man, Goku and Krillin are leaps and bounds ahead of me now. But in the old days, we were right about the same level. Seriously though, what's with these guys? They're strong and they somehow got hitched? I'm not asking for pity, okay? Believe it or not, I'm actually pretty satisfied with my life. Seriously.
What single word would best describe Yamcha? Weak, comedic, courageous? All of these and more would work, but the word that best describes him comes from his 2 theme songs, Wolf Hurricane and Ookami. Wolf Hurricane is actually a love song that describes Yamcha's unease around women. For as hype as the song sounds, The chorus is always, "Lonely wolf, Yamcha of the desert." Lines like, "You make me drunk with the bouquet of love," feel all the more tragic when you realize that the love he felt for Bulma was never going to be reciprocated. "I am the rumored nice guy Yamcha" is a good description of him, but sadly we know all too well what being nice gets you. Sure, women will say that they want nice guys when they're 30, but they'll choose to sleep with the bad boy in their early years. But it's his other theme song that really emphasized his loneliness. It was written and performed by Toru Furuya, the Japanese voice actor for Yamcha. This song delves deeper into the idea of how lonely Yamcha really is. Lines like, "Yes, I have been searching for love, that'll rinse my parched heart," help describe how much he truly wants love. "I don't mind being a lonely wolf. If one day I can love someone, I will overcome any ordeal that awaits me. Searching for the warmth of love unfamiliar to me, I'm a wolf who will keep on walking in the deserted wasteland." The song even talks about when he met Bulma and the feeling he had after she leaves. "Now I'm alone again, and although you're no longer by my side, I don't feel lonely. I'll prove that with a smile." Being alone and being lonely are two different things. There's nothing wrong with being alone, just like there's nothing wrong with feeling lonely. There is no shame to be found in isolation. Many men want to be in loving relationships, but our sacrifice is wasted on modern women. So many gallons of blood, sweat, and tears are given to women that will leave you the moment they stop feeling love, the moment they have any excuse to do so. They'll love you and care about you. They'll help you when you're sick, cry over you when you get hurt. They'll say thank you and I love you after you do so much for them. Then the next day, you're just their ex.
Okay, I'm aware of what I said earlier, but just hear me out on this. The Yamcha will not be a bachelor forever! When I said I was satisfied with the status quo, that was just my tough guy act. Inside, I'm actually kind of sensitive. I want a partner to share my life with, someone super hot.
Many men fall in love with women who will leave them in the dust the moment they can, and sadly Yamcha is one of these men. He never knew Bulma only saw him as a temporary relationship until it was too late. Yamcha learned the hard way that the love he was looking for was never going to come from Bulma. But maybe it could come from someone else.
Suppose we'll get moving on too. Come on, Bulma.
Wait, Yamcha?
Yeah?
You're my friend.
Oh, thank you, man. That's more like it, Yamcha. You know, you should get back into fighting.
Yamcha, don't worry about him. I'll make sure he learns his lesson.
Goku would deliver a blast strong enough to drown the whole forest. I must keep trying.
Ha! Wolfang Fist!
Yamcha!
I thought you'd like that.
One of the things I've come to appreciate more as I've reread the series is the relationship between Goku and Yamcha. Before Vegeta, before Piccolo, and before Tien, Yamcha was the very first enemy turned friend in the series. There's a wink quote in Dragon Ball FighterZ that made me think about this.
You're bringing back some memories, Goku. If I hadn't met you, I'd probably still be a bandit right now.
Yamcha would have stayed a criminal, only willing to hurt and take from people who couldn't fight back. But because Goku was so pure and kind-hearted, Yamcha learned what it means to have friends and what it means to fight for others. Look at the moment when Yamcha fires off his first Kamehameha. The look of joy Goku has on his face as he sees his friend getting stronger is too pure.
If Yamcha thinks he can handle the Kamehameha wave, he must have been hit harder than I thought.
Whereas Krillin and Roshi doubted his ability to use the move, Goku believed wholeheartedly in Yamcha. But just as he feels great joy watching him fight, Goku feels great rage when Tien takes their fight too far. It takes a lot to make Goku get truly angry, and severely hurting his friends is at the top of that list.
It's for Yamcha!
This kind of friendship is something to be treasured. Both of them think so highly of the other. There's a reason why Yamcha fell to his knees when he thought Goku died on Namek. Because Goku isn't supposed to lose. Yamcha has seen Goku grow from the very beginning. It's this kind of love that Yamcha really needed. A brotherly form of love.
Hey, buddy, that kid of yours is pretty incredible. Every bit his father's son, and I really mean that. But I'm going all out, doing right by him.
We can find ourselves focusing on one specific idea or goal that we end up losing sight of what we already have. Some men chase the same kind of women their whole lives just to realize that they didn't need them. Whenever Yamcha says he wants to be married, he never states that he wants kids too. In his own words,
And I'll be damned if I'm gonna die alone.
but he doesn't need a girl to stay by his side to achieve that. He has a whole friend group, a group of people that like having him around. There's a reason why he's always at the parties that people are constantly throwing. Maybe if Yamcha realized that himself, he wouldn't be so hard on himself. So over the course of all of Dragon Ball, who is the person that dunks on Yamcha the most? Is it Tien, Vegeta, Nappa, maybe even Bulma? Well, it's actually Yamcha himself.
I hope I can make it out of this alive.
I know I let you down. I'm sorry.
Vegeta, huh? I must have a death wish going up against you. You're out of your mind if you think I'm going back there. Not a chance. Those things toss me around like a rag doll. I'm damn lucky to be alive.
I survived.
He's unstoppable. Nothing I did had any effect, not even my Wolf Fang fist.
I'm surprised that you're not entering too, Yamcha.
With Goku and this bunch in the mix? What'd be the point?
では貴様が先に消えろ。
あれ？死んでない？
His doubt comes from years of hardship and failure, and this has made him truly believe he is weak. It's easy to look at life as only results, but we should never overlook the effort we put into our daily lives. Goku has never once called Yamcha weak. Even after Yamcha retired from fighting to pursue other passions, Goku has always been there to encourage him back into fighting. Goku knows how much martial arts has impacted Yamcha's life, and morphed him from a bandit into one of Earth's strongest fighters. Every training exercise Goku and Krillin did, Yamcha did too. The construction work, delivering milk, and more. It put Yamcha on the right path, and he has Goku to thank for that. This is why the phrase "bros before hoes" exists. This is why it's important to have strong friendships, because true friends help each other through thick and thin.
I owe you guys one. Let's not start keeping track of who owes who.
So in the tail end of Dragon Ball Z, there was very little Yamcha. A few lines in the manga, an extra line or two in the anime, and truth be told, I've never watched GT, but I'll bet money he has maybe 1 or 2 scenes at most. Dragon Ball as a whole was in a dry spell for a time. GT had its last episode released in 1997, and the last Funimation dubbed episode released in 2005. Sure, the series would have reruns and DVD releases, but other than the occasional special, there was very little new Dragon Ball content. This all changed with the release of Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods in 2014. People like to talk about the art renaissance, or the Disney renaissance, but those pale in comparison to the Yamcha renaissance.
War, the only gift they need is the gift of Yamcha.
That's a non-refundable gift, isn't it?
そうかしこまるなって。確かに俺はこの中じゃフル株だ。それに大きな声じゃ言えないが、憲法の腕前も一二を争うレベルだ。緊張するのもわかる。でもせっかくのパーティーじゃないか。ブレーコーで行こうぜ。
A few moments later.
Emotional, damn it! That Time I Got Reincarnated as Yamcha came out in 2017 and is 4 chapters of love and fan service. When the main character gets reincarnated as Yamcha, he realizes he has a chance to fix his biggest mistake. But in order to do that, he had to resist going to West City with Bulma and train with Goku instead. So when the day finally arrives, he's more than prepared. He takes 5 Cybermen self-destructs all at once and shrugs it off easily. He casually defeats Nappa as if it was no big deal, and manages to outsmart Vegeta with his knowledge of the series. Even though he realizes it was never Yamcha's destiny to be with Bulma, it's okay. There's more to life than trying to get some chick, and maybe if he rewatched a few episodes he'd realize he's better off without her. Not only did he get his own spin-off manga, but he got his own dedicated episode in the anime.
Relax, guys. As long as I'm team captain, you've got nothing to worry about.
How come Tien and Chaozu aren't here? You did tell them about this, right?
Actually, no. I figured they wouldn't want to. Besides, a sport this intense might be too dangerous for them.
This episode is Yamcha's highest point in the series so far. For once, there's a situation that requires Yamcha's unique set of skills. You can rely on Goku to defeat any world-ending threat, but you can't count on him to throw a ball properly.
Alrighty, nice and soft.
Let the Yamcha show you what it's like to dominate on the map. Watch and learn. This is how it's done. Ready for more? Oh yeah! Nobody escapes the wolf!
Yes, far less worthless than I thought.
After years of hard work, he finally gets the respect he deserves. Even though he's constantly getting hurt, he refuses to give up.
You can't beat me at this. It's a shame you believe that. What am I even doing here? I'm totally out of my league. At this rate, I'll be lucky to walk off the field alive. Come on, Yamcha, keep your head in the game. We are going to win this. I can still make it!
He's tagged up! Pick him off! Let me! Gotcha!
I will make it home.
Oh, I'm not sure about that, unless you're carried there on a stretcher.
He goes from base to base, inching closer to victory. That is until Beerus and Champa start fighting. Their fight causes mass destruction, and if Whis and Vados didn't step in, the entire universe would have been destroyed. It's during all of this chaos that Yamcha managed to win the game for Universe 7.
Heck of a play! Well done, Yamcha!
Hey, the way he's lying in that crater kind of rings a bell.
Well, I'm glad we won, you guys. But I think I just gave new meaning to the term sacrifice.
To turn his death pose, the lowest point in his life, the pose that represents his biggest failure, and turn it into a pose of victory is nothing short of genius. Yamcha became a success off his own blood, sweat, and tears. He didn't let his past failures stop him from succeeding. He didn't need Bulma by his side to earn the respect of his friends. All he needed to do was be himself. Now, as much as I like Dragon Ball Super, the Resurrection F movie and arc and the Tournament of Power arc spit directly in the face of Yamcha. The fact that he's not there to defend the Earth is something he would not do.
Goku, are you sure you want this villain on our team?
Don't worry. I'll keep him in line, Tien. Besides, there's no one else to take Boo's place. We don't have any other choice.
Poor Yamcha. It's too bad Goku never asked you to be their team's 10th warrior, huh?
It's probably for the best. I would have just defeated everyone too quickly.
But thankfully, the moral arc of the Dragon Ball Super manga fixed this glaring oversight as he fights alongside the Galactic Patrol. Not only does he fight in the arc, but his energy is used to help Goku with his final push to defeat Moro. His energy was also in the Spirit Bomb that defeated Majin Buu. As much as he dunks on himself, he has always been there to help his friends in need. So with the series still going on, maybe we'll get the Tournament of Power too, where we could possibly see Yamcha climb to even greater heights. In some ways, this has actually already been happening. The Super Dragon Ball Heroes anime has been running for a bit, and just so happens that Yamcha is fighting in a tournament. It's in this tournament that something special happens. During the fight, Yamcha is getting tossed around, and Hit threatens to kill the enemy. But Yamcha uses his trademark Spirit Ball to save her. His kind act is immediately rewarded, as she saves him in return.
やっちまった。お前な、確かにその子は敵だけどな。だけどだからって何も殺すことはないじゃないか。
しびれたわ。あなたのその優しさ、はっきり言ってタイプだわ。顔もよく見たら素敵だし。私のダーリンには指一本触れさせないだから。ダーリン？
Do you think love can bloom even on a battlefield?
It's not canon, but still matters to Yamcha's overall story. Up until this point, we haven't seen Yamcha in any relationship past Bulma. It's an easy fact to overlook, but his very first girlfriend was Bulma. His first experience with love was with a manipulative thought who belittled him whenever she could.
I've had it with you, Yamcha! I'm going to collect the Dragon Balls and ask the dragon for a man who doesn't lie and cheat and who doesn't have a fan club.
For example, if she gets like super ticked off at you for some reason, just do this. You ready? Apologize. Apologize till the cows come home. You did it. You're wrong. That's the only way.
Have you ever realized that whenever a relationship falls apart, the blame is almost always put on the man? The idea that everything is your fault is plain and simple wrong. Women will say they cheated because they weren't getting the attention they needed, or they complain about your income not being enough, when in fact, you did almost everything right, but they'll gaslight you into believing it is your fault.
She got tired of Yamcha playing the field, I think she called it.
You're so brave. I'm not scared with you here.
Hello, I'm Bulma!
But hopefully, if this relationship becomes canon, Yamcha will be treated the way he deserves to be treated, with love, affection, and most importantly,
respect!
But there's one extra little thing that's important to look at with this moment. The fans' reaction. If you go into any comment section on the video about Yamcha, you'll see so many comments saying, I'm happy for Yamcha.
With you at the wheel, fighting for me and stuff, I feel like I'm kind of like I was in my prime. Calm down, Yamcha. Get cocky and the branch of fate will snap back and hit you in the face. It's happened in the past. I think I'm all that, and then I get manhandled or die. Life must be trying to teach me a lesson. Yeah, about humility. Anyway, thanks to you, I've been able to help the gang out. No one can deny that. Thanks, buddy.
Yamcha has thousands of fans worldwide, and it's thanks to these fans that we get stories like that time I got reincarnated as Yamcha. Everyone loves a good underdog story, and Yamcha's is one of the best. Any extra form of Dragon Ball media shows great care to Yamcha. The DS game Attack of the Saiyans went out of its way to make him extremely powerful. Does Tien or Krillin have their own dedicated mission in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2? No, not really, but Yamcha does. And Dragon Ball FighterZ is peak Yamcha. He has so many great lines in the game, and he's personally one of my favorite characters to play.
They can laugh all they want, but I'm gonna prove that I can step up when I'm needed.
Although we don't get a whole lot of Yamcha, what we do get matters. Somewhere within the series is the story of a man whose heart got broken, but he still continued to live on. There's something about his story that resonates with men, and I believe it's because his story is about failure. Failure is something we can all relate to, whether your relationship fell apart, or something you're passionate about didn't work out in the end, or you didn't hit a new bench PR, we can all relate to that. Many men relate to Yamcha's story because we can see ourselves in him, and the number of men will only continue to grow. People want to see Yamcha succeed. Although dead Yamcha has been memed to death, it hasn't stopped people from wanting to see him in the anime. You know he's a beloved character when people have made whole rap songs about him.
Yamcha and I'm lit.
If Yamcha can stand up after all he's been through, you can too. If you keep trying, no matter how many times you have failed, you will realize that you can overcome any ordeal that awaits you.
That chump from before. Bring it on. I'll have some fun with you.
What?
pathetic little runt.
Hey! Could someone please remove this trash from the battlefield?
Beaten by Cybermen, were you? Are you sure you're not trash after all?
I know I let you down. I'm sorry.
Don't give up your drive, kid. Get up.
I just got my second wind. And it's blowing like a hurricane.
Not gonna let pride or anything get in my way this time. I'm taking you down with everything I've got. Sugar, my wolf, not dying here.
Don't give up! I know you're stronger. I can feel it.
You can't lose. Don't be a fool.
Walk your own path with confidence. You'll do just fine. It's only a little more. Just a little more.
Just making it this far is amazing on its own.
Guess I showed you I'm not playing around, didn't I?